What's good? You rocking with your boy TheCzarr, all rights reserved. We back at it once again. And now we're going to take everything that we learned and start asking different questions, if not more intricate questions. Again, there's no autopsy or toxicology. So shout to Commenter Universe, Commenter Nation, stand up, represent. Commenter Nation, drop your state, drop your city. Let it be known where you're from in the comments below. The Lil Tay deception. The Lil Tay deception. Now, didn't we just talk about the deception of another artist? Or she's not even an artist. Let's talk about another personality. Let's be respectful to everybody who really does this. Then we talk about deception. What was we talking about? We were talking about how they were saying things and then not really meaning it. Well, let's talk about her deception in the situation. Her deception is definitely huge. This is a huge recommendation. This is a huge understanding to the nature of the conversation and the situation that stands. Now, let's be real. What are we talking about here? We're talking about an individual that recently in a court sentencing, after being caught smoking hookah on live, got sent to live with her father. Okay? You got sent to live with your father because you were with your mother and your alleged brother that puts you up to do social media things to gain, let's say, the notoriety. Because I'm not going to say fame, because again, that would be disrespectful to those that actually earned the right to be famous. We're talking about somebody who has used their image to portray something that they're not, and currently to build some type of standing that they're proud of, when all they do is throw around money and say the N-word and act ratchet. That's her MO. That's what she does. That's something that can't be argued. But you're using that to come out to the public, to be some type of person in public, to act like you're doing something when you make no difference. If Lil Tay wasn't in the media tomorrow forever, it wouldn't affect nothing. That's how we know your worth to the scenario, or let's say to the game. Let's be respectful in that way. Now, what I do know is that in this game, you have made somewhat a lot of enemies and somewhat a lot of friends, but you're declaring and claiming allegedly that you were supposed to go to a charity with XxxTentacion, and if he came and picked you up and you went to the charity and different things, that he would have never had it done to him. You went a little bit further and even said that your father was responsible. Why? Because you were forced to live with him and that's not where you want to be? Or the fact that you're trying to say he had some deeper implication. Then you came out and tried to say he allegedly sent pics or something to you that was very questionable. Now, when we think of this scenario, what do you actually think about? What is actually the problem here? It's that you're an underage female trying to place yourself around overage men. That's what the problem is. That's why it seems like you don't like being with your father, because every time I turn around, you're with another superstar that is way above your age. Why is this? How can you even come out your neck to even say these things? Well, again, you're not being monitored and you're saying what you want to say because social media is everywhere and you're just a little girl that hopped on social media to talk and act bigger than you actually are. Whether you're flashing the money that's yours, whether you're flashing it from parents, whether you actually earned it, the bottom line is you're a negative influence on society. So let's look at this negative influence currently that has many videos doing things you shouldn't do, as was seen by a judge. And now you're trying to say that you're involved in the XxTentacion situation to put, let's say, air around your dying career, because we see that it's not weighing up to much. It's not amounting to much. What's the problem with this? Well, the problem is because this is a serious situation and you're just a little kid trying to act bigger again in a situation where you're a little kid, period. There's no argument to that. You're not grown. You don't make decisions on your own. You definitely don't put yourself in the position to do the things we see you do on social media. So why do you feel the nature to show your face in this case? This is a deception. It's misleading. It's taking the ideology and the pure truth away from a situation that is moving towards an artist and seriousness. So you're not serious. You can't be serious. And if you are serious, I think you need to relook and rethink a lot of things, because you're no type of influence. If anything, you've been a problem since the beginning. If anything, you've been a bad influence. Louder. What's wrong with y'all? I'm glad he didn't have that loud. Oh my goodness. But here's my thing. I don't know what your take in it is. I don't know why you even want to implicate yourself in the situation or put these disturbing claims on your father. But let me say this. You should have behaved yourself. Why couldn't you behave yourself? How young are you? And you're hanging out with these stars in the bathrooms, the bedrooms. I've seen many things in the living room. Like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to be a social media star? You should be focusing on school. But you want to be top in the school, noticed in school, fling around the N-word like you claim it, like you have rights to it when you're just a little girl. Like, you need to get yourself together. Get your priorities straight. And what's sad is this is a reflection on the woman that was raising you and holding you in the living room, letting you smoke hookah, and why you got sent to your father's in the first place. What, is he straight edge, telling you to do the things you should do when you want to do what you want to do? Yeah, that's probably the situation. But here's my problem with that, because that's his regards as a parent. My problem is now you're mentioning that something wouldn't have happened to someone if they had just got with you, which makes you look guilty in this situation, because you know for a fact you wouldn't have stopped anything. They would have picked you up and slid you in Riva Motorsports. They would have picked you up, threw you on a bike. No, tied your leg to a dog hanging on a post, and you would have got ran across the whole premises. There's nothing you could have did. But again, you see all the media going towards a situation, going towards a person, and you feel it's your right to speak up. That's fine. This is a free country. But what is very silly of you is to say something and conclude something so stupid as if you would have affected anything, when we know for a fact you would have affected nothing, and that you have no ties to this situation like you think, or else you really do, and you need to be in interrogation, being held down, ask questions, since it seems you can't behave yourself anyway. What's going on? Stop trying to play like you're part of a situation. You were supposed to link up with him for a charity. Now you're saying, oh, he got photos of him on live doing this and that. And let me say this. If that is the truth, someone should have taught you about respecting those that are gone. Since he's allegedly deceased, why do you find it even of any importance to show this? Why didn't you show this when he was still here and tried to make a situation or tried to press charges because you felt uneasy or it bothered you? And if you're saying it didn't bother me, it was no situation to me, it was okay, then shut up. Why are you talking about it? You didn't get touched, you didn't get disturbed, he didn't meet up with you, so what's the problem? Why are you sitting here bringing this stuff up now? And that's my thing. When something first happened, these are the same people that were screaming RIP. Now they're trying to throw dirt on a legacy that they really don't care about to revive their own career. So here's what I'm going to say to that. Let this little girl keep it pushing. We don't got time for that. That's not important. Did mommy and daddy show you priorities? What really matters? Or are you still confused on that? Because I never heard about Lil Tay going to school, nor getting an education. So what's wrong with that? Why is that a problem? All I seen was you in video throwing money around and stuff, talking big, riding around in cars, doing other stuff. I don't know who's sponsoring you, and I don't even want to allege you're doing stuff to get that money. But I do want to say this, that you need to clean your act up, little girl. You need to clean your act up, go about your way, and do what you're supposed to do. Live your life like a normal little girl. Get your education so you know what to do with the money instead of throw it on the ground. Because the ground's not an investment. Throwing your money around in video is not an investment. It just makes you a walking target. That's what you should have learned. And that's the silliest part about you, that the best attribute you have is trying to clout chase or build your clout up on camera to show you got money. But look, maybe there's something else you didn't learn. There are a lot of unfortunate people who live an unfortunate life that will gladly two-piece, allegedly, a little, let's say, viral idiot like yourself. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. You're idiotic. And I don't find anything you're saying funny. I don't find anything you're saying impressive. Neither do I find anything you're saying to be of any relevance to the fact this man was taken out in a setup. Do you have information for us? Do you know directly how your father's affected, like you're saying, or how he affected the situation? If you do not have no evidence to show your father was responsible for this, it's not good to make claims on your father because you don't like your living situation, because you made choices that allow, or let me say, you had guardians or support factors such as your mother and your brother showing you to do certain things that you shouldn't be doing, and that now you're living with someone who wants responsibility and that really treats you like a little girl and wants you to grow up and be smart. Get an education and move on with your life and make something of yourself instead of a clout chaser, a social media, quote unquote, what they call them, the W word. Because I'm going to be respectful. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to just tell you, you don't have nothing to gain from this, nor do you have nothing to show us. The deception is you speaking out on social media and everybody chasing it and everybody's dropping everything like, oh, she said this, she said that. Who cares? Who cares? Now, the only reason I'm addressing it is because it's also in a beneficial manner done the same way we seen Vic Mensa hop up on the BET stage and say things. I didn't mean to say it in front of his mom, but gain no media notoriety. Like, let it go. His was way more respectable than yours. You're claiming your own father's responsible. Are you silly? Are you really that stupid? Are you really going to let yourself want fame that bad you're going to say stuff like that? Because what you're doing is implicating a man in a murder investigation. Someone that happens to be your father. Is this to get rid of him so you can slide back to your mother and brother by choice or by no other means? Because then you get to do what you want to do. And I don't know what they really allow you to do in the house. I don't know what they really allowed you to do to gain your fame and your money. But I want to know that you have very sick and twisted actions, and you are not being taught by anybody who's responsible or has morals to keep you sane, to make you look like someone who has any type of intelligence on camera when you throw around your money. Do you know how silly that is? Do you know how silly that is? Anybody could get up on the camera and throw money around. But how many people can actually make something of themselves and sound intelligent as CommenterNation and Commenter Universe bring? Do you see the deception in it? That she's a little girl doing this and other little girls are like, oh, I could do the same thing. Oh, I look like this. She looks like that. I could do this. You see how silly it is? So now you're trying to train up a younger generation to chase clout on social media. And yeah, I'm saying clout because honestly, you have no talent to bring to the situation. And clout is directly linked to money. You're throwing it in people's face like, look what I got. You guys, and all the stuff you said, I don't even know how they allowed those videos to get monetized in any way, shape, or form. But what I do know is you're the worst example of what a little girl should be. Matter of fact, you need to go to some type of schooling to teach little girls how to behave. You are very out of line. And if a brother, a mother never told you that, I'm sure you have a father that has sense. And he's telling you that for you to even implicate him in that. Matter of fact, you implicating him in that makes me think your father's a very intelligent man. And he's saying to himself, what is wrong with this little girl? Well, sir, sometimes you can't help how these trolls get on social media and they want to enact things and say things they shouldn't. Because what she's implicating you in is nothing nice. And how she's trying to pull the attention away from the situation and bring it back to her, that's a very sick tactic. So I don't know who's doing the marketing for her. I don't know who's influencing her, but you need better influences, young girl. You need more established people. You need to learn your place as far as media goes and learn to know that you need to take your big mouth off of social media, period. Nobody wants to hear you say, oh, he sent me photos like this. And then, listen, I'm going to watch you. And if all of this comes out not true, you are going to get blasted for that. Because what you're doing is literally hopping on social media, implicating someone who's allegedly deceased to be in a situation where they could face potential harm or threats because they're messing with a younger girl. We've seen you with many artists in their rooms. And like, what are you doing? Who's allowing her to, who's videotaping this? Because someone's always videotaping. Who's videotaping it like, oh yeah. Yeah, look at her stunt. Like, who's doing that? Yeah, look at her. She got all that money. Who could get paid enough to do that in front of a person, in front of an artist, in front of a grown man, to put this little girl on social media? None of it makes sense. It's all unsensible, and definitely needs to be checked. You need checked on that. And if you have a mother and a brother that can't speak to you like I'm speaking to you, then you should be with your father. Really, you should. And that's crazy. That's insanely crazy. This is the Lil Tay deception. Do not be fooled by it. If she has stuff she's claiming, show it and shut up. We don't want you to talk about it. Show it. Because if you're not going to show it, and you're going to sit here and make these claims against Tentacion, claim things wouldn't have happened that way, claim your father is involved in this, and that. Little girl, you got to show that. Because I'm sorry, you've been doing too much on social media. Then the judge sentenced you to actually have some type of setup, responsibility, and to bring some type of, let's say, order to your life. Now we hear you talking about it. Oh, get lost with that. Get lost with that. We got more coming up. We're going to ask more objective questions, but this was addressing the Lil Tay deception. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with Commenter Universe. Stop playing with CommenterNation. They going to jump on it and just talk about it negative and ain't really going to let you know what's up. I'm going to let you know what's up. All rights reserved.